upon a timeline. I have lots of stuff to talk about today. Hopefully I'll be able to get through it all. Okay, looks like we have live stream status there. Okay, let's see who's in. QB, of course, first, and James Tiberius second. Ronan the Voice, Mia Romano, Dark Wolf's Den, Gabrielle Fillion, Kyokuk Monty, Shari D. Actually, I think I have my own video playing here, so let's just stop that. Oops. Oh, computer's already starting to bog down. Not a good sign. Too many windows up. Definitely. Okay, let's see. Not sure if you heard that or not. I think I have it turned off for you guys to hear the output, but I could hear it and it was bugging me. Sharktacon Nas here. All right, I think that we got everybody, at least that's posting. Ugh, bad stream again. Looks like we're not receiving video data at a fast enough rate. Oh well. Hopefully it's still working enough for you guys to see. Alrighty, so what's going on? Okay, I just saw this one just a half hour before I started the stream here. So this one, are we gonna see anything on the top? All right, come on. All right, I don't know if any of you watch this guy, Mr. MBB333. He has some interesting stuff on his channel quite often. And today I saw this one. Did a moon video cause the global YouTube outage? So I guess people have been emailing him saying that there's a rumor that he had a moon video and then the YouTube outage happened. Now, I assume most of you guys know that YouTube was out for like an hour yesterday, which is highly unusual. Just drop my papers here. Which is highly unusual for YouTube. And YouTube has not explained why. They just said, oops, sorry, okay, now we're back, but they have not given any clue as to why they were down. So these people remember this channel having a YouTube video up, and he says no, he has not done any moon videos recently. He said he hasn't done any since August. Okay, so of course I'm immediately thinking Mandela Effects. So I scroll through here, and somebody else, there's actually quite a number of people mentioning Mandela Effect here. Moby Smart Cat does. Some other people down here, SS Pedo. But, okay. So down here, we have people saying they saw the video. I saw a video of things hitting the moon yesterday. Must have got lucky. I checked my history and I don't. From memory, it was a shot of the moon with asteroids coming in from right, dead center, and leaving fairly spectacular explosions on impact. That's all I got. All right, so that was 8 hours ago, so yesterday would be Tuesday, the 17th. Okay, then other people are coming in. Michael, yes, I viewed the same video, but now it's gone from my history. So everybody that saw it now can't find it anywhere. They can't find it in their view history. They can't find it in any of the channels that they've watched. YouTube, Joe X Army YouTube channel was playing it. Also showed other things flying by the moon. I saw it too, then it was deleted. Yes, the video I found of the moon being hit by 3 big gray shards. The whole account was terminated, and the viral military video where soldiers reporting the moon was going to be hit by the 3 incoming asteroids is missing. So I don't know. I don't know if this is like, did their timeline end and now they're over here? People are swearing that he actually, Mr. MBB333, played it. Other people had it, but now it's nowhere. Nobody can find it. So I don't know if this is like a clue. I mean, does it mean that maybe their timeline ended and they came here? I don't know anything about this video, so I can't comment. But I don't know, just weird. that this video supposedly disappeared at this, and then when YouTube was back on, it was back. So I don't know. Just wanted to put that one in. One thing was weird is that they're saying, oh no, that video is from 2017, but everybody who saw it thought it was a recent video. Autumn Nichols is in, Anna Morabito. Let's see who else is in here. Hello, everyone. Tvijik Zix. Mandela Frequency, version 3.2. Shari D. James Johnson. Autumn Nichols, I think I got you already. So, anyway, I saw a different video. There was someone under his video saying he saw the moon video. Yeah, there's actually a lot of people under there saying they saw it either by him or on other channels that are similar to his. A lot of times with these kind of channels, they'll all cover the same things sooner or later. So anyway, you might want to check this out. Did a moon video cause the global YouTube outage? I don't know if it caused it, but it might be symptoms of the same thing anyways. Just pays to watch for these Mandelas in other places besides the official Mandela channels. And some other people are talking about watching a moon video when there were moon waves. After the second set of waves, we lost connection to the video feed of the moon. I did see that video. Something hit the moon. Large dust cloud could be seen coming from the moon. It was posted yesterday early in the day. Yeah, see, there's a bunch of people saying they saw it. Oh, I don't know. All right, anyway, I can go on that forever, but... Okay, so there's one. All right, this computer is getting real boggy already. That's not a good sign. Come on, little computer. Sometimes if I get through some of these, then it'll start working again. Oop. All right, that was this is actually the thumbnail, and I'll go over it in a bit, but well, I guess I could cover it, but basically the thumbnail one is that who brought this one up? This is from Jay Emblin, and it's interesting because it's about, they're saying that after Hurricane Michael went through, the skies turned purple. And this is supposed to be an image of purple skies and lightning right after the hurricane went through. So I've not heard of the skies turning purple after a hurricane. I looked for the explanation, and they're saying that if there's more atmosphere, then that changes the scattering of the light. And makes things look purple. It looks a little fishy to me. Oh, let's see if this... oh, look at this. This is really slow. Come on. This does not look good. I think I'm just going to have to start deleting some of these. But anyway, you guys can check it out. Look up Hurricane Michael, purple skies, and there's a lot of interesting images of it. I'm afraid if I do too much with the computer, I'm going to crash it. Come on, come on. Okay, this one is a big ME for me personally, and it's these cochlear implants. There's these ear implants. All right, now, when I was growing up, if you had damage in your inner ear, you were dead meat. You couldn't fix it. I mean, they had hearing aids for the outside of your ear to help enhance the sound that would go into your ear. But if your inner ear was trashed, then that's it. You were deaf. You couldn't do anything. But apparently, in this time, we've had these cochlear implants since the 70s, where they actually can replace a bunch of your inside of your ear. And they connect the implant right up with your the nerve that goes that nerve, the ear nerve or whatever the heck they call that thing. So apparently here, then this has been around for a long time. Charles Ayers invented the original cochlear implant in 1957. 2 years later, they went their separate ways, but then it was invented by William House in 1961. 1964, there were some of the first implants. Modern cochlear implant was independently developed and commercialized by these people over here in 1977. Oh, first person was implanted in 1977 and 78. Now I was pretty young then, so I don't think I studied it then. It was later that I studied, but there was no solutions to inner ear dysfunction back then for me. But apparently these things have been around, and so they let you hear. You won't hear as good as your regular inner ear, but they let you hear. And I just started hearing about these in the last year, frankly. And there's a lot of stink about them, I guess, in the deaf community because they don't want. I don't know, it's kind of complicated, but I guess they have their own community and they don't want to lose it by having people leave the community and be able to hear again or something. I don't even want to touch that one. But anyways, so I don't know, just weird. I've never heard of such a thing, so it kind of freaks me out. All right, let me see what you guys are up to here. Are you guys still on there? Because I'm not seeing any new chat from you. Stream chat is okay. All right, there. Now there's some. Does the sky look purple? Only if you just had Hurricane Michael apparently going by. Saw this yeah, there was a lot of people saying they'd never seen it purple like that before. I see a red glow where the sun rises, but like 1 a.m. Autumn Nichols. Yeah, we've talked a bit about that. There had been some actually on Mr. MBB 333's channel about people seeing weird glows in the middle of the night and really weird early sunrises. Or maybe you can get a picture of it. It might be cool to see. Let's see. Implants with magnets on the outside, but they don't hear the music the same. Yeah, but see, I'm just this whole cochlear implant don't hear music the same. I'm just hearing this for the first time. It's weird you just said all that because I just heard that the first time like last week about not hearing the music the same and all that. I've never heard of it before. I mean, yeah, I'm reasonably up to date now, but I've never heard of that before. In my timeline, they could enhance your outer hearing, but they did not have anything to go replace the inner structures. Super thirsty today. Okay, anyways, let's knock that one off. This one next. Come on, computer, you can start the next one. See, look, this one's not even erasing. Oop, it skipped one. All right. Alrighty. This one is kind of a repeat in a way, but there's new, if it'll come up at all. Ooh, does not look good. Come on. All right. So this person, Aryan Charm, I guess, or whatever that login name is, has this book that is the way we remember it, Portrait of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. But apparently this book is now called The Picture of Dorian Gray. And one thing I wanted to bring up is last I checked for this ME, for me, it was just Portrait of Dorian Gray had turned to Picture of Dorian Gray. But now it is The Picture of Dorian Gray. Now I could take a Portrait of Dorian Gray, but not the. There was no the on the front of it. So this person still has a copy of this book, and she said that as far as she could tell, or he, it's identical to The Picture of Dorian Gray. So just this front is different. And before, when this ME came up, I do not recall anybody being able to find any of the old books, but apparently there is still one book floating around that has this old version on it, which is really weird. We haven't been able to come up with an explanation for it, but also, see if we can get to the next one here. Come on. Ooh, it's so slow. You know, I just rebooted this computer right before, but I think when I put a lot of different windows up, it just, there's too much commercials and junk on a lot of these. Let's see what you guys are up to. Pokemon. Yeah, you said it pretty good. The deaf community feels that they are relegating them to have been being defective and needing fixing, and they don't like that. Yeah, well, I mean, they don't like that, but their hearing is not working, so, you know, I don't know. It's easier to live when you can hear. That's all I have to say. And less dangerous. So, all right, here's a whole, one of the commenters on the previous thread had this whole spiel of residuals, which is pretty interesting. Now, this is how I remember it, Portrait of Dorian Gray, but it has changed to The Picture of Dorian Gray, and now you're seeing the in a lot of the residuals. The Portrait of Dorian Gray. There was no the for me. There was absolutely no the. So even a lot of these residuals have the now, The Portrait. So I just wanted to scroll through, see if we can get the rest of this to load even. Perhaps not. So I'm going to knock that one off before the computer collapses. Okay, well, that thinks about loading. We'll see what you guys are up to. All right. Yeah, see, there's what it is now. The Picture of Dorian Gray. That's the official title. So I don't know how that person ended up with a book. And if you look through, that book cover is in other places on the internet too. How they have a whole book with a different cover and a different title, but the exact same words in it. Weird. All right, let's see if we can. Okay, this one's really creepy. This one's on Reddit, and it's somebody with this creepy back hair that is so long that they it made like a dreadlock, Anyway, that was just some really weird thing. There's been a lot of weird tails and stuff, and weird body unusual things, so I just thought I'd stick it up there. Okay, speaking about super weird things, there's been a lot of really exaggerated body parts in the animal kingdom, and this is a pig. And apparently pigs in this timeline that are breeders have very large man parts, but this one is larger than normal, shall we say, this pig. And you can see that that thing is, it's just completely unnatural. I can't imagine why nature would ever allow such a thing. It's obviously not good for the animal. I want it one more time because it's ridiculous. So I kind of looked into these pigs, and apparently breeders' pigs that are just used for breeding only, do have very large man parts, very large, but usually not quite this large, but still ridiculously large. I don't know what to say about it. I never saw anything like that before. Some of the other animals too, the parts are just getting really ridiculously large. This one's an extreme version, but still, I don't know what's going on. But, I mean, those are just not conducive to survival of the fittest, in my opinion. And considering that the things that they are delivering are microscopic, there is just no need to have that big parts. That's just, I don't see why nature would do that. Oh, let's see. YouTube officially was out for the whole world for 80 minutes, but we could still watch videos. So KSP Crafter. Actually, I was hearing that it was out for like 2/3 to 3/4 of the world, is the latest spiel. But still no word on why. How long have I been on? Just now got the notification. 22 minutes, the usual. I always start at midnight. I actually put the notification up pretty early. I put at least 2 hours in advance, too. So there's sometimes I'm kind of slacking and I don't get up until like an hour before, but I didn't do that today. Excuse me. There is another version of the portrait of Dorian Gray. Let's see. You know, I just barely read that and then it jumped, so. Cats have whiskers on their arms. Yeah, I don't remember cats having whiskers on their arms. I have to check that one out in a bit here. You can see the computer. Look, there's only 2, 3, 4, 6 windows open and it's still running like heck. Those are pigs grown in captivity. I don't see how, though. So they grow in captivity, so they have giant, those parts? I mean, I'm just not buying it. And they didn't before, and we've had pigs grown in captivity for how many thousands of years? Check the lower back. You know, I just want to say the whole lower back is, it's constantly changing, just bit by bit, but it's hard for me to go, oh, that's a recent change, because it's just a little bit. Like some things suddenly jump from here to here, then I can say, oh, it moved from here to here. But the back is just kind of like ongoing. It looks completely different than it used to. But there's not like one thing where I can say, and I've kind of gone over some of the back changes before, but there's not one thing where I can say, okay, this is what it is. All right, this window shows no desire to start. Let me see if I can get something else. Okay, let's try this one. All right, this one, who came up with this one? Sloths are good swimmers. This was by Mia Romano. There's a couple things I want to mention here. One is this image, which I've been seeing for a couple years now, but it keeps changing. And one thing that has really changed is not only is the fur more green, but we have these white patches here. They didn't used to have these white patches. This exact image did not, of this dude crossing the road, did not have that. So this image continues to change. But in addition to this, apparently sloths are these amazing swimmers now. Now look at all that white on his back. It looks like it's turning like yellow there. This used to be kind of a mild patterning in here, but I've noticed that lately they're getting very colorful. Using their patented slothy version of doggy paddle, they move through water up to 3 times faster than they move on land. I don't really get how that is. I mean, how can you swim faster than you can move on in the air? I mean, your muscles move at a set rate, don't they? Weird. And this is another thing I've been hearing a lot lately. They can slow their heart rate to 1/3 of its normal pace, allowing sloths to hold their breath underwater for up to 40 minutes. That's a freaking long time for a mammal, 40 minutes. Okay, what I don't really get is they're talking about you slow your heart rate, but you're swimming underwater. That takes a lot of exercise. Now, normally when you exercise a lot, you speed up your heart rate. So I don't get how you're slowing your heart rate and exercising more. I mean, wouldn't we all just do that all the time if we could do that? I don't know. I've just been hearing a lot of that lately as rationales for being able to hold breath, and it just sounds a little counterintuitive to me. But anyway, look at the whole face is turning white on this one. So anyways, yeah, nice find. Sloths can swim really fast and hold their breath for 40 minutes now. I read there is an African tribe that has children. Oops, darn it. It moved again. All right, I have to go back now. The green moss is growing on them. Yeah, but that image was different before. It's the same photo, but it's now a different color. Green color trend occurring. I think it's all different colors. It's just colorful timeline. Back hair being that long is new to me. Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys are going to grow like a mane all the way down your back or something. Maybe it's going to be dudes. They're going to have manes like big lions. Lower back has weird indents in the skin. All right, see if you can remind me to look these up if I can get the computer working. Let's see if this one will run since that Civil War wouldn't go. All right, this one. Who came up with this one? Archerfish shoots water. This is Bob Bobertson came up with this one. So this fish actually shoots up water in order to knock insects out. So apparently fish now use tools along with so many other mammals, whereas once it was just humans. Let's see if this video will play. It's a cool video. I hope it plays. Come on, video. This is really sad because there's only a few windows left. I don't think we need the sound on. Fortunately, this video does not seem to be budging. Oh, there we got something. Oh man, it jumped past all the good spot. Let's see if we can get back. Ugh, my eyes are so tired today. All right, here we go. Here we go. It's working. All right, so they shoot out the water from below, and they have really good aim. This is the good one here. Shoots the bug. Bug falls in water. Then they eat him. So apparently they have highly modified tongue and mouth parts so they can aim really good. Thought that was quite interesting. All right, let's close that one down. All right, now we have windows that won't open, apparently. We can come back to world map. It's going to be a long day if I can't get this to run. The image looks a lot different to me too. As soon as you showed it, I noticed the same exact changes. Yep. Yep, he was just kind of gray-brown before. Lots of animals are starting to swim now, like pigs are starting to swim. Yes, and like eagles and birds and things can swim now too. They are so slow. Yeah, supposedly they swim twice as fast, 3 times as fast as they walk. Don't ask me how that works, but like you get in the water and your muscles move faster. All right, this whole thing is totally crashed. All right, I'm going to try to shut down Firefox and restart it. Because this is not boding well. The Statue of Liberty one, we'll just have to apparently the ME does not like these videos at all. Look at, I can't even get this thing shut down. Come on. Where's the delete button? All right, it's going to be a slow day if I can't get the computer to work here. Come on. Close. All right. Let's see. Well, it's still streaming okay. The system must give priority to the streaming service because despite the fact that the entire Firefox is dead, I can't get it to anything. Come on. They have to adjust for water refraction too for accurate aiming. Yep, it's impressive. Susan Gunther Photography. Saw a sundog finally. Did not realize how bizarre they are. These did not exist in my timeline. Anyone here see one? I've seen the regular round sundogs starting last summer. I saw a ton of those. But I had not seen them before that. And process. Yes. Close, close, close. Geez, it's only been like 30 minutes and my eyes are not staying awake. All right. Should I try to start Firefox again or is it hopeless? Ooh, it's not good. I saw a green sunset the other day. I didn't get a pic, but I'll keep an eye out for it again. Pigs fly soon. Yes, that's a joke like for every day these time. Every week we make this joke. I finally got Task Manager to come up. Not that I need it anymore. Eva, you need more computer power. You know, it's weird though because, I mean, it just does that sometimes and other times it's fine. Usually once I close a bunch of windows, it's fine though. I mean, this is like a fairly powerful computer to be honest. If I wanted to, I mean, I'm going to have to spend at least $1,000 or more if I want to get a better one. And I'm not really 100% sure it'll work. I mean, like, look at Scott Harrison. He bought a really fancy, expensive one, and his computer still goes down all the time. Urgh. Well, at least some of the... That was weird because I thought I shut it down, but some of these, the windows I was trying to get opened have opened. Okay, so this one is from... I'm pretty sure this is Stand Up for Freedom. Yeah, Stand Up for Freedom. Okay, so last week we talked about the glowing wounds in the Civil War. Injured Civil War soldiers glowed in the dark, glowing wounds in the Battle of Shiloh. And Stand Up for Freedom found some images of the little creatures that are supposedly caused the glowing, these bacterium here. And so that apparently is the color that the soldiers were glowing. Just thought it would be interesting to put that up there. All right, we've only got one window left. And maybe this is the window that's causing all the problems. Okay, this one was interesting. Who brought this one up? Okay. One of the commenters named General Sorrow mentioned that Statue of Liberty, we were talking about the streaks around the neck and other areas. This person read that the streaks were due to an interior cleaning that leaked out. They were trying to clean the inside, and it leaked out and then like ran down the outside. But what was weird was when I looked it up myself, they said that that did happen, but that they would hose it off from the outside so as not to cause damage. And so what they're currently saying now is that all the brown staining and things that we talked about last week are supposedly in this timeline due to pollution. Let's see. Pollution from the borough of Manhattan and severe northeast winds have sullied her left cheek, neck, and upraised arm. And adding insult to injury, workers who did not want to bother to make their way down the 150-foot statue to go to the bathroom may have urinated on the national monument, causing minor damage to Lady Liberty. Okay, now that's weird because I was just looking at this article earlier and I did not read that paragraph. Anyways, so anyway, that's some of the current excuses for the lines on the exterior of Statue of Liberty that we went over last week, but weren't there like last month. So this is an older article too. This is an article from 1986. So for me, it's only been there a few weeks, but according to this article, these things happened quite some time ago. All right, I'm gonna see if this computer will pull up. I actually haven't looked at it since last week, so I don't know if there's any changes, but it looks like the computer's back in functioning form. See all these stainings here? Supposedly this is from pollution now and potential urination. I don't know. Just weird. Let's see if there's any changes to the back. It looks about the same to me, I think. You know what I don't remember are these dots here on this. Yeah, I don't remember these dots here on the pedestal at all. Oh, weird. And see here, it used to be that this was not how it was designed before. There were multiple, for a while there were a whole bunch of these cutouts, and then there was 2 sets of them. Now there's only 3, and this bottom section is empty. And there's all these circle shapes. That must be a fake one. Yeah, there's no way. But yeah, so the pedestals changed quite a bit. I don't think this was here even last week that it was empty on the second That's not how the pedestal looked last week. There's no way. Interesting. Okay, so that's changed since last week. Oh, look, there's Roman numerals on here. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. July 4 still has the IV. We're going to have to keep an eye on that one. Very interesting. Okay, so pedestal has changed since last week. Looks like there's these little doors things in here. I don't know. I think there's something different on here too. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm sure this upper one has changed. Let's see what the height is. Where's that image I always look at? Here. 151.11. That looks about right. Okay, it doesn't look like there's been any huge changes in the height anyways. Random Emmy. So CERN invented the internet, but I remember as a fact that in my timeline it was NASA. And I never heard anyone mention this. Actually, that's a big ME. That one was making the rounds, I don't know, 6 months ago or something. So it's kind of an old ME, so you probably haven't heard it lately. But check up CERN, World Wide Web, and Mandela Effect. You could probably find it. Let's see. CERN, www, Mandela Effect. Let's see. All right, let me try invented internet. CERN invented the www. Yeah, see, October 5th, 2017. So it's about a year old. CERN now invented the World Wide Web, and the first pic ever published on the internet was of CERNettes, groups of female singers. Yeah, that's another ME. The pedestal looks too big for the statue. Yeah, quite a ways back that I commented that the statue had gotten a lot smaller. And yeah, the pedestal got bigger. Okay, so this ME, the CERNettes were the first ever pic published on the internet. I can't remember what the first one was supposed to be. It wasn't the CERNettes, though, but... Oh, God, having trouble keeping my eyes open. Okay, so where are we here? We still got a million of them to go through. I'm going to try to get some done from last week first. All right, last week. All right, this one... This one kind of shocked me because I've been here. And now there's a conspiracy theory about the Barringer meteor crater. And the reason there is a conspiracy theory is the thing has gotten quite square. You can see it. It's looking like kind of square. So it's starting to look unnatural now because it looks so squarish. And I've been there. I've seen images of it. Blah, blah, blah. It was not squarish before. It was an ordinary rounded crater before. I did look at some other images of the museum and stuff, and those all look the same. But I actually went, here, and I stood on the side of the crater, and I saw all the images of it, and blah, blah, blah. And there was nothing about it being squared off before. So to me, that's an ME. It was not square before. I mean, it's even looking square from the side now, and it just didn't before. I mean, look at how square that looks. No way. You would notice it. It's unnatural looking now. And that's why there's a conspiracy theory, I guess. But yeah, it was not square before. You will not hear MSM announcing Statue of Liberty has changed again. It's like everyone else is sleeping. Yeah, it's weird. I just feel so weird that, just a few of us regular people are trying to research this, and it's like, oh, the geniuses should be look geniuses, and really, there should be high-level think tanks trying to figure this out, but no, it's just us. What a trip. Buying a computer is like buying a pair of shoes. If you want a quality product, you want it to last, you have to pay more for it. Yeah, except for you pay more and your computer still collapses in a couple years. It's not the same as other equipment that's more reliable. Like I said, I've known people who bought really expensive computers and they still have all kinds of stupid problems. And that's one of the reasons I don't want to do it. And it's a lot of money. I've already spent a lot on this one. I mean, this one's like, oh, it's like a $700 computer, and I just don't want to cough up anymore. Sorry, guys. This is the one that was supposed to fix the problem of them crashing all the time. Okay, so there's that one. All right. See if I can find this one. It's a while ago. Okay, so it is now an old wives' tale that bulls will try to get you in the a bull will try to like headbutt you. Supposedly, it is now becoming an old wives' tale. So to prove it, this teacher put a bunch of students in this bull ring, and they're basically saying as long as you don't move, the bull will not mess with you. So all these students are put in this bull ring. Let's see if I can get this to run. Oh. Which one of these is the one that's supposed to run? Let's see if it'll get started here. Need inputs in. How you doing? Kevin Flowers, 1989. Who else is in? Abducted Christian ufologist. General Rose. Eterismo. All right, so basically they let this bull loose. And look, he very carefully, tries to dodge everybody, although it does look like he almost got that kid. So anyways, apparently bulls don't want to attack you in the ring anymore if you don't run and you don't mess with them. So that's the latest story on bulls. And certainly not what I've ever heard, but so assumedly they're just trying to rile them up, but they have the kids stay still so the bull just avoids all the kids. Anyway, just weird. All right, next one. Golden spiny-tailed, just a squirting gecko. All right, so we have more creatures squirting gross things. So this spiny-tailed, what the heck was it? Golden spiny-tailed gecko squirts a bunch of slimy, gross crap out of its tail. I mean, we've seen them squirt it from like mouth or butt, but this one's got special squirt thingies in its tail. Look at, there's a line of the squirt there. Never heard of that. It's a weird looking mouth on it and stuff too. So, has pores on its body and tail that spray a sticky, smelly liquid to deter predators. Anyways, so another weird one. Golden spiny-tailed gecko. All right, one more. This is one I've just been seeing a lot lately with the ridiculous bunching of small animals. All right, what is all that? Other than a bunch of nopes. It's a cajillion spider legs. They make, apparently, they can just make hair with their legs now. This bunching behavior, I've never seen this before in spiders. They were not communal in my own timeline. They just eat each other. Apparently in this timeline, they form hairy beards and stuff. I mean, for what? I don't know. There's no benefit in them all hanging out together that I can tell. There's not going to be enough food for all of them. There's no webs here. They're not catching any food. Anyway, so just weird. All right. Now I'm going to look this thing up. Rhythmicon. What is this thing that Eterismo is mentioning? Rhythmicon. Leon Theremin. No idea what this is. Okay, more weird old musical instruments again. Polyrhythmophone was the world's first electronic drum machine. Designing and building a remarkably innovative rhythmicon. Wanted an instrument which would play compositions involving multiple rhythmic patterns, impossible for one person to perform simultaneously. Oh, weird. Okay, so it was like the first kind of electronic keyboard thingy. 1930, huh? Each of 16 rhythms can be produced individually or in any combination. A seventh key permits optional syncopation. The instrument produces a percussion-like sound using a system proposed by Cowell that involves light being passed through radially indexed holes in a series of spinning cogwheel discs before arriving electronic photoreceptors. Yeah, that looks pretty suspicious. I mean, obviously I wasn't alive back then, but it's definitely a candidate for more of the tech before its time. So, yeah, by commenter Eterismo. Interesting find. Learn how to repair your own PC. Well, yeah, that's what Google's for. If you have any problems, look on Google. If you can't fix it on Google, then just get a new computer because it's cheaper than them fixing it. Usually I can fix it from Google, but these problems that just aren't permanent. I mean, obviously I could reboot the computer, but then I'll kill the live stream, so I'm not going to do that. All right, so that's the last ones from last week. Okay, did that one. Okay. I just saw this the other day. I don't know. This one might be an older ME. I saw it a while ago. Images. What got my attention was the tail on the Stegosaurus. I mean, this is just a toy, but they all have this double tail here. And that's, so they have like a spine. The spines are split. To me, there used to be just a spine and another spine. They weren't these forks like this. And then I realized something. For me, there was just one line of these back spines. Now there's two lines that parallel each other. So that's what's changed for me on the Stegosaurus. It's got these two lines. You can see that almost all the drawings have it. This one is more like how I remember it. But you can see now that there is a split back there. But at first when you look at it, it looks like there's just two spikes. And that looks like a single row. But almost all of them are showing this double rows thing now. See how it is, double rows. So that's the new Stegosaurus with the double rows. What the heck is that thing? Psh. Can't read it, but yeah, almost all of them have these double rows now. Actually, these tiny neck ones, I don't remember these tiny neck ones ever being there like that either. They were just smaller versions of these in my old timeline. They didn't have these. I don't know what the heck those are. Actually, let me look at some more images because I just noticed that. Yeah, that doesn't look like how I remember it. See, this is... Well, that's really not it either. Interesting. Okay, see, these little guys, maybe that's what we're getting to, is these tiny little bumps. But they weren't like that for me. There was just slightly smaller ones of these. All right, that one's not showing the little bumps. So maybe that's up and coming with those little things. Should be interesting to see how that pans out. Let's see what another skeleton looks like here. Images. Thirsty today. That one doesn't... That looks like it's supposed to be realistic. See, look, it does have all these little tiny ones up here. I don't remember it like that. That one doesn't have it as much, though. T-Rex, that's not what we're looking for. Look at that guy's got little ones on the head. Maybe there's more than one kind in this timeline. All right, that's supposed to be a real one. Huh. The shape is different than I remember, too. It's not very humped. Anyway, I think there's been some changes in the Stegosaurus. Leon Theremin invented the theremin synth, but not the rhythm machine. You know, I can't help you on that one. I just don't know the history of musical instruments. I get the feeling a lot of these things are just different versions of the BS we are told. I don't know what to think. I mean, it's certainly hard to take any of it seriously after you just see it all shifting and shifting and shifting. Something is just suddenly in your timeline, and now you're supposed to worry that such and such is nearly extinct when it never existed before. It's kind of hard to be terrified of extinction when the thing just appeared out of thin air. I don't know if I covered this one. It might have been a long time ago, but the T-Rex has this whole front skeleton that I've never seen before. And the storyline, like last year, was that the reason I never saw it before is because they never had a complete skeleton of the T-Rex before. But they did have a few complete skeletons. Let's see. Okay, here, it's this one. This whole front region... And God, the feet have gotten the hands are even tinier than I remember. I mean, they were always small, but this whole front region was not on there. And it made sense before because and these ribs were a lot larger, and that's how the humans were originally for me, with big ribs through here and then no front portion. The ribs would just come around like this. And we didn't have a front portion, so they could actually, it was just like cartilage in there, so they could just pull the ribs aside and access the heart that way. And the T-Rex was similar. It had big ribs that would just loop around to the front, but it did not have this breastplate part here. I saw that, I don't know, it was probably like a year ago. There, this shows, see, all that material was not in there. And the thing is that even with the incomplete skeletons, when they display them, they fabricate the rest of the bones that are missing and they put them on there. So even if it was incomplete skeletons, when you would go to the museums, the skeletons would appear to be complete because they would make up those bones that were missing. So you didn't look at a skeleton with only 20% of its bones. You always saw a skeleton with all of its bones, or something that was made to look like its bones. See, all this. This is just different. Yeah, exactly. And see, these ribs are all teeny weeny now. They used to be these big meaty things. So, yeah, everything's different. Boy, the legs look kind of tiny, too. The head is huge. Look at that thing. Huh. Oh, look at the size of that head. Look at that thing. And the feet, the hands are almost gone. I don't know what's... This is that lower cod piece bone down here again. Look at the... I mean, the hands are always tiny, but come on. Also, the gait looks more like a human in this one. It's more upright or something. What's this bone? I've never seen this bone. Weird. Look, there's the lower piece. It's weird. All right. Look at that big bone back there. All right, anyways. Don't look anything like the skeleton they had at the Natural History Museum in London. Well, I don't know. If you go back there, it might look like this now. Just pretty soon it'll be a head and tiny legs. Yeah, that's a good point. Look at the tiny little hands. Maybe it's going to turn into... Yeah, they really are just... Oh, they're just so tiny now. Look at them. That's not the same one. I mean, they barely clear the bone between the legs. That was not on there before. No freaking way. A lot more species of dinosaurs. Yeah, a lot more species of everything. All right, so we got that one. All right, this one is from Stand Up for Freedom. All right, so we've seen before, like, old wives' tales become real and real things become old wives' tales. So apparently the latest thing to become real is that glasses wearers really are more intelligent. It's in the genes. So they found something, it was like 30% correlation or something with people who wear glasses and higher IQ. So they're saying that genetically the two are probably linked. So the old stereotype that people who wear glasses are smarter is actually based in truth in this timeline, believe it or not. Those who are more intelligent were nearly 30% more likely to have genes indicating they require reading glasses than those who scored poorly. So, anyway, just weird. Who knows what ridiculous baloney is going to become real next. Okay, this one is interesting. This is from Tony Boy. I might have terrible writing, and I'm not sure if it's Tony Box, but I think it's Tony Boy. Commenter on the channel. All right. And he mentioned that, and I remember this also. Now, we've talked before about how the dollar sign only has one slash in it. This is kind of an older ME. Yes, I clearly remember that this always had two downstroke lines in it before, the dollar sign. And it was a few years ago where I suddenly saw it as one. And at the time, I just thought it was some kind of weird font or they're trying to save space on the keyboard. But lo and behold, pretty much all of the double downstroke symbols are gone. Every now and then you'll find one. But most of it is just single. And there was no single before for me. I just never saw it before. So most of them have become single now. I think last time I looked, they were about half and half. But there's definitely been a takeover of the single down slashes. But what do you remember about the pound sign? He remembers there being two cross marks on the pound sign. And that's actually what I do remember, there being two cross marks on the pound sign. Now there's only one. Let's see if we can find any that has the old image in it. I'm not even seeing any that had the double. But I do remember that. Here, like this one. This one, the stock image here has that. That's how I remember it. But it looks like it's pretty much being taken over by the single crosshatch lines now. So that's another one that's changed in a very short period of time, too. There's not even much residual left of the old way. And that doesn't really save that much in the font or spacing either, so I don't really get it, but there you go. So the pound has also been affected. Yeah, even does Euro have one line? Let's see. Euro sign. Let's see what the Euro looks like. I'm not as familiar with the Euro, but it looks like it still has two. Maybe there could be an argument they changed it, the pound, to not look like the Euro, but I've never seen any announcement that they were changing it. I always saw it as two. It was definitely the pound sign. It wasn't the Euro. Because the pound sign goes way back and the Euro is kind of a youngish thing for me. Yeah, okay, so it looks like Euro still has the double slashes. Maybe that's why the pound sign couldn't have it anymore. But that doesn't really explain the dollar sign losing it, though. Because nothing really looks like the dollar sign. I still write my dollar sign with two lines going down. Yeah, me too. Did it all my life. Yep, and the Euro had two lines. Okay, so let's see. So that was by Tony Boy. Already covered the purple skies from Hurricane Michael. I can go over that now that the computer's working. Hurricane. The spelling of hurricane keeps changing. For me, anyway. So there's a lot of interesting images, anyway from purple to lavender. Look at all those colored skies. That's the one I pulled because it was nice, but turned purple after Hurricane Michael. It was like for a while, too. It wasn't just like an hour or something. Turns purple over Florida and Ohio. It wasn't just one place. It was all over the place. Anyway, so very weird. Weird. The euro will probably lose one cross line soon. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the euro wants to look different than the pound. Because they are sort of similar, but... Are we getting confused with musical notes? No, I'm not getting them. I don't pay attention to musical notes, but I do pay attention to them, to the money signs. I am not getting confused. The moon looks weird with a red glow around it recently. Crazy world of normal Helen. I've had that for about 2 years with that red glow. Yeah, I'm starting to get used to it, but it tripped me out for a while. Prince would be proud. Yeah, purple rain. There were actually quite a number of jokes about the purple rain on some of the articles I was reading. Like I said, it's supposedly they're saying it has to do with more atmosphere. I don't really quite get where the more atmosphere is coming from, but all right. Okay, Pito. So Purple Skies was from Jay Emblin. And this is Pitui Bird from Jay Emblin also. So apparently we have poisonous birds now. They take, I mean, you've heard of this for frogs, spiders, but now birds actually take in poisons and maintain them in their bodies, and so they're poisonous. So this Pitui bird, and they're named after, I guess, the sound you supposedly make if you try to eat one. You go Pitui. So they're poisonous, but supposedly they get the poison from things they eat. See if we can find the... Due to their toxicity, Papua New Guineans call the Pituis rubbish birds, as they're not good for eating. In desperate times, they can be consumed, but only after the feathers and skin are removed and the flesh is coated with charcoal and then roasted. Assumedly, the charcoal will uptake the poisons. Okay, but this is what's really weird, is that apparently the common quail can also be poisonous. And I have never heard of that. Ever. People go quail hunting all the time. And I've eaten them from people who hunt. Never once was I told that they could be poisonous. And we had a bunch of them. It's kind of almost a waste of time to eat quail because there's hardly any meat on them. But if you want to go through the whole hassle, some of the hunters will do it. Quail can make themselves poisonous. That's bull. I'm sorry, but that's just not it. There was never any danger of eating quail before. The common quail. Quail is a common game bird. People eat it all the time, and sometimes when they eat it, their muscles disintegrate and their kidneys give out. Yeah, I would not be eating freaking quail all those times if I thought that there was any chance that they would disintegrate my freaking muscles. They live all over Europe. Every year it migrates down to North Africa. Hunters regularly hunt quail, including migrating quail. A little while after eating the quail, their muscles get sore, weakening and swelling up at the same time. Soon after, they get nauseous and their heart races. Confusion and disorientation set in. Close that. But even the most confused and pained person knows that when their urine turns dark brown, it is time to go to the doctor. They've got rhabdomyolysis. Their muscle tissue has begun to degrade, and their components are forced into the bloodstream. Okay, this whole rhabdomyolysis thing, I just heard about that the first time about 4 or 5 years ago. And for somebody who exercises a lot, and I'm into fitness, and I love researching like muscle injuries and stuff, and I had never heard of this. And it's actually fairly easy to do. Basically, you just exercise really, really hard and overdo it. Then your muscles can break down enough to overwhelm your bloodstream. And I just am really suspicious about this being an ME to start with. I don't think we had this before. I'm just stupid enough to exercise enough to give myself this a couple times when I was younger. And it's something I would have been more aware of. And I'm just really suspicious about that. So anyway, apparently this quail can give you this now, and I have never heard of that. It's called coternism. It's a common enough phenomenon that it was remarked on by Aristotle. People haven't stopped eating them, though. Hunters and their dinner guests still regularly show up at hospitals with coternism. That must be one delicious bird. You know what? It's not. They're not even that tasty. This is just weird, and I just... Ugh. So anyway, think twice about eating quail. Because apparently they can... and rhabdomyolysis, it's really dangerous. It could kill you. So it's not anything to fickle-fackle around with. Pufferfish, yes. Quail, no. Yeah, pufferfish have a poison gland internally. If you remove the poison gland, then the rest of the pufferfish is safe. Because the poison gland shoots poison out the spines. So the whole fish is not poisonous. Just the poison gland and the spines. So when they do the fugu, which is the raw pufferfish that they eat in Japan, they just have to make sure that they remove the poison gland properly so that none of the poison gets into the flesh. So even them are not, their whole flesh is not poisonous. So this whole thing, it's just weird. These animals can have all this poison in them but not get poisoned. So apparently these quail now can do it. I saw a pink morning sky 3 days ago, now not seen pink before. Yeah, usually the sunset's not that bright. But I have to say, I'm not an expert at sunsets. I'm usually snoozing because I'm kind of a night owl. Dirk just made a big jump. Here in Oklahoma, my dad raised expensive bird dogs just to hunt quail and duck. He said a whole group of friends that went hunting and fishing. Yeah, you eat quail all the time. Nobody worried about coternism. They're used in mixed grill plates in restaurants often. Yeah. Apparently, people just get rhabdomyolysis. But anyway, if you eat any of them and you start feeling really sick, that it's actually a really dangerous illness. Coconut oil is dangerous. What? Not that I know of. Coconut oil, I do not know of. Coternism is dangerous. Coconut oil, not. Coternism is that sickness you get from eating poison quail. All right. So anyway, we got that one. That was by J. Emlyn. Good find, especially on that quail one, because that's ridiculous. Okay. I got 40 minutes. I might be able to do it. All right, this one is from Bob Bobertson again. He finds a lot. And this kind of ties in with the many, many hijackings that we talked about, the plane hijackings, like they were almost daily events, supposedly, in the early 70s in the United States. We talked about that last week. So apparently, we had a whole ton of bombings in our country. 15 years after the explosion of a bomb remains a very big deal in this country. Let's see, where's the rest of it? It may be hard to recall now, but there was a time when most Americans were decidedly more blasé about bombing attacks. This was during the 1970s, when protest bombings in America were commonplace, especially in hard-hit cities like New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. Nearly a dozen radical underground groups dimly remembered outfits such as the Weather Underground, the New World Liberation Front, and the Symbionese Liberation Army set off hundreds of bombs during that tumultuous decade. So many, in fact, that many people all but accepted them as a part of daily life. As one woman sniffed to a New York Post reporter after an attack by a Puerto Rican independence group in 1977, "Oh, another bomb. Who is it this time?" You know, I just don't have any recollection of common bombings at all. I do remember there was some shootings, some kind of riots, a little bit like small time stuff. People hitting people over the head with a bat. Bombings, no, I don't remember commonplace bombings at all. Well, little remembered today, there was a time during the anyway, I covered that one. The Nixon administration considered these groups a genuine threat to national security. Anyways, I don't know. Do you guys remember, like, bombings all the time? The single 18-month period in 1971 and 72, the FBI counted an amazing 2,500 bombings on American soil, almost 5 a day. Because they were typically detonated late at night, few caused serious injury, leading to a kind of grudging public acceptance. Okay, so, yeah. I don't know what to say about that. I can't even remember any bombings. I can't remember anything like that happening. I mean, there was a few hijackings and like no bombings. I mean, that's why like the poisonings of some of the cult members was a big deal, because there just wasn't that much death and violence back then. Okay, so yeah, none of you remember the bombings. 5 bombings a day? Yeah, no. Okay, good, because I'd be like freaking out if you guys remembered all of them. Yeah, there was a couple hijackings, that was it. Anyway, so apparently in this time, I love how they're like, oh, it might be hard to remember. I would not forget there being 5 freaking bombings a day. I mean, all the dumb little stupid things I remember, I'm not going to forget 5 bombings a day. All right, so... Okay, so that was Bob Bobertson. I think he's the same one who found the hijackings last week. So, yeah, weird. All right, let's see. I already did that one. All right, I think you guys are already talking about it, but it was... Okay, so it was Janelle C. who mentioned there's something going on with the thumb. And it seems like you guys are kind of saying the knuckle... Okay, this is interesting. Janelle is saying that there's like kind of a bump on the inside of the thumb, if you feel right there. And it's right on the knuckle. And yeah, that feels weird to me. Now you're saying that there's a... I'd say the knuckle under my index finger looks longer. There's something about the joints. It just seems like they're getting really fat on the fingers. This is one of the links I had up earlier, but I deleted it. That's what I get for typing finger skeleton. All right, let's try hand skeleton so we can see all the digits instead of just one. It seems to me like these the joint areas are getting larger. They're getting a really bumpy out here. That's what it feels like to me. So you're talking about the index finger. She was talking about the inside of the thumb. And then somebody else brought up pinkies are becoming opposable. That was Bradley Castro. If you kind of look at your pinky, it almost is now. It's almost parallels the thumb with it. It seems also to me that my pinky is more, it's getting strangely mobile. It's got more ability to operate on its own. The pinky to me used to be kind of a slave to the other fingers more, but now the pinky actually seems to have more mobility than some of the other fingers. So anyway, just kind of interesting. It's going to make sense if we have more dexterity in the hand long term. Already got that one. Okay, this one. I got to have this one in here. All right, this is a weird one. We talked about a tiny little 1 or 2 ounce birds being caught by spiders, like hummingbirds. This one's a bigger one now. It's a skink. So supposedly the spider killed this skink. Let's see if I can expand it here. It looks like it might be a black widow. I'm not sure what kind of spider that is. But so this lizard supposedly is a skink. One thing I do know about skinks is they're strong little lizards. They're a lot stronger than a lot of other lizards. I would say the skink would eat the spider, not the spider eat the skink. I just can't imagine a skink can't break out of a spider web. I don't know, spider webs must be a lot stronger in this timeline or something, because it just seems like, I never before the last 2 years ever even heard of a spider eating anything other than an insect. I don't think their mouth parts were hardly even strong enough to suck the blood out and get into these animals. But now apparently anything that gets caught in the web gets killed. Anyway, just a trip. This is the right one here. I have severe knee pain, and there is no reason for it. Yeah, I don't know. There's always something going on. My knee's been a little hinky, but I do tend to have knee issues, so I can't use that as an indicator as easily as other people can. Like my knees are just a little sore. My mother was like that, on and off. And I play a lot of sports. It gets worse. How is the spider going to suck all the lizard's juices out? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It trips me out, but I keep seeing these images the last 2 years, birds, and now it's lizards. So it's jumped to lizards. Yeah, I don't get it. I can bend all my fingers independently. Yeah, I just don't remember them being quite that dexterous, especially that pinky one. There's something just a little different about. I can my toes now too. They are more jointed. Yeah, it used to be kind of difficult for me to, like, say, pick up a piece of paper with my toe, but now I can do it fairly easily without. I mean, it used to be kind of a production where I'd have to concentrate, and now I just grab it. It actually comes in handy if I drop something and I'm sitting here. Okay, so let's see. We got you. Okay, this one is from Melanie Sinful Charms is the name of the commenter. All right, let's get the right one here. Bubonic plague was human fleas, not rats. So they're changing. They are changing. See if I can find the original article. Probably doesn't matter. Basically, they're saying the bubonic plague was not spread by rats and fleas. Of course, we always were taught that. Now they're saying that it was spread by human fleas. Now this is an Emmy for me because I don't recall there being any fleas that were called human fleas. There was rat fleas and there's cat fleas. I don't remember anything being called human fleas. So basically they're saying that new research on how fast the plague spread said that it had to have been spread by human fleas. This mode of transmission may not have been the same for every outbreak. But anyways, basically they're saying there's these human fleas. And so that, not only did they change their story on bubonic plague, but now they've got these human fleas. Human flea, once called the house flea, is a cosmopolitan flea species that has a wide host spectrum. So it doesn't just go on humans. I just never heard of this human fleas thing. So I'm suspicious of that. And now the whole bubonic plague is being blamed on them. So I don't know. They're just weird. Okay. I mean, it's not exactly the smoking gun of MEs, but I'm just suspicious of it. Okay. This is a personal one. I remember this word, modicum, like a little bit. You'd say, if I could just get a modicum of success, a tiny bit of success, that kind of thing. Modicum. That's the word I remember, modicum. But now the word is modicum. There's no R. The R is gone. So now I need a modicum of success, which is hard for me to say because it was a modicum of success. So for me, that's an Emmy. Changed. All right. Ooh, I'm like blasting through these. Okay, I've got one more. Now we have human fleas. Yes, you do. Ew, aren't ticks, lice, mosquitoes, chiggers, and bed bugs enough of a nuisance? A lot of people were mumbling about the bed bugs about 2 years ago. Because it's true, about 4 years ago, I first heard of bed bugs being real. I used to be just that saying, don't let the bed bugs bite. And then suddenly all over the place there was talk of reinfestation of bed bugs. So that is suspected by many to be an Emmy, an early Emmy. Mouse was the reason for the plague, and the fact they killed all the cats because they thought they spread the disease. Yep. Modicum for me. First time our Emmys have diverged. Yeah, could be. Modicum of success. Okay. This one is just weird. I don't know if it's an Emmy, but I just thought it was interesting. Eigengrau. All right. that'll get it. All right, this one is from Bob Bobertson again. I have not heard of this. So eigengrau, I guess you would say it. How do you does it say pronunciation? Eigengrau. I think it's eigengrau. When you close your eyes, instead of seeing black, you're supposed to see this gray color, and this gray color is called eigengrau. Now, what I remember is seeing black before, and somewhere around the 90s that started to change, and I saw more sparkly stuff. And I actually see it in my normal vision too. I have what's called visual snow, and it puts kind of a mist of over the top of all my vision. It's not supposed to be dangerous as far as they know. They don't really know what it causes it, but so I don't see black anymore because all the black has kind of a haze of sparkly stuff over it. But so I don't, when I close my eyes, I see what I can see. I just see a lot of sparkly stuff now. So I don't see eigengrau and I don't see black. But I remember seeing black before, not gray. But anyways, never heard of this. The phenomena is more commonly referred to as visual noise or background adaptation because it is accompanied by perception of an ever-changing field of tiny black and white dots. See, no, I'm really suspicious of this because I don't think that used to be the case. But it is the case for me now, even with my eyes open, and it's called visual snow. And when I researched visual snow for many years, they never said anything about this eigengrau. I don't know. When I first saw visual snow, it started like in my mind's eye. I don't know how to describe this, but I could almost imagine it before I could see it. And this eigengrau sounds a lot like visual snow now, which I just think is weird. I don't know. I'm just mumbling on, but there's just something weird about that whole thing. The metal cutting strip on my cling wrap is now on the top lid, not the bottom lid. Yeah, all these little tiny MEs. There's just a lot of them. There's for my gate, I have an automatic gate, and there's like this little red box that supposedly the fire department can use to get into my gate if they need to get in here in case of fire. That box has this weird it looks like a little camera lens thing on top of it. I'm going to have to ask what that was. It was never there before. It just had the black box, and there was I was told there was a key in the red box. But now there's a camera thing in there. When I first saw it like 2 weeks ago, I was like, I thought that somebody as a joke had gotten an old camera and stuck it on the gate, like one of my friends did it. But no, it's wired into that red box, and I don't even know what it does. It's just weird. Now, it's obviously been there like 15 years because it's all faded and everything, yet it wasn't there even like 2 weeks ago, I don't think. So, I don't know. There's just a bunch of dumb things like that. How do you remember the bees in the band ABBA? Well, let me look at that. God, I just wasn't that into bands and stuff. The bees, oh, I see what you mean. I'm just not sure on that one. Yeah, sorry, I can't help on that one. Certain things I'm better at. Usually it's animals and nature stuff. I mean, it's not that I don't know any pop culture, but I'm definitely weaker on that. Thumb is turning into its own unique idget. I think you meant digit. Wound healing is better, faster. Yeah, definitely. There are so many bugs and insects that I now notice that haven't been before. Living out in the country my whole life, so many crazy bugs. Yeah, there's some really big colorful ones with they have a lot of weird patterns on them too, a lot of weird lines. No human fleas, they couldn't stay alive for long without a human host. I remember that. That's right. I was always told that they would jump off and they needed to get on a dog and they didn't like humans and yeah, I remember all that. So if you had like a dog, that's what they used to say the lap dogs were for because all the fleas would jump on the dogs and not bug the humans. I also see sparkly stuff instead of black now, but I also used to see black. You know what? I think you probably have visual snow. It seems like it's getting more and more common in this timeline. Visual snow is a neurological disorder characterized by a continual visual disturbance that occupies the entire visual field and is described as tiny flickering dots that resemble the noise of a detoned analog television. Yeah, it's like static. They call it a neurological disorder, but I mean, it doesn't do anything. I mean, some people get all upset by it and it causes mental anxiety, but if you just decide that you don't care that much, because it doesn't really hurt anything. I mean, it's not like I can't see or anything, or. The only thing it does is once in a while I get confused whether it's. If you look out the window and you're trying to see if it's raining, visual snow looks a little bit like it's raining out there. And sometimes I think it's raining and it's just the snow, the visual snow. It's not really raining. So that's probably the only time that it is slightly inconvenient. Numerous flickering, you see numerous flickering tiny dots, similar to snow or static. Other symptoms may include migraines, drifting blobs of various size and shape, aka floaters, or other visual effects such as glare, halos, starbursts, odd colors and shapes, and double vision. Yeah, I get a little bit of most of these. I definitely get halos, starbursts. I had a little time when I would occasionally get this weird double vision on certain light structures, but that kind of passed now. The cause is unknown. Abnormal processing of visual information is suspected. Diagnosed by symptoms that last more than 3 months. No evidence-based treatment for visual snow at this time. Okay, cause is unknown. Not known to be genetic. No known treatment. Can decrease a person's quality of life. Others find the symptoms very disabling. I don't know. I don't really. I think most of the people that I've read, they're just upset by it because they're worried about it. But I haven't really ever talked to anybody that had a real problem other than being upset by it being weird. Anyway, so there you go. Visual snow. It seems like it's pretty common in this timeline. Yeah. Visual snow. Shari D's got it. Yeah. We were talking about it on Retconned, a lot of people had it. What do you see when you rub your eyes? Um, Weirdly, it actually has darker spots when I rub my eyes. There's a little bit lighter and darker spots on top of the sparkling visual snow. All right. Hope Eva leads my last question. Okay, let me go back up there and find it. Eva, what do you see after rubbing your eyes for a few seconds? I see pixelated stars. Looks really digital. All right, pixelated star. I'm not sure what a pixelated star is, but all right. I don't see too much. I mean, while I'm rubbing them, there's darkness and lightness. Then after I rub them, there's a few areas where it looks a little brighter, like little zones of brightness, and then that fades, and I just see my visual snow. So I don't think I see the pixelated stars. I get the migraine with visual light vision. I think they call it migraine aura if you get weird visual effects due to migraine. Sometimes they think that some of the visual snow, I've heard them link that to migraine aura, but the trouble is they've got this word migraine aura. So you can have a migraine aura, but sometimes you don't even have the migraine, like your head doesn't hurt. You don't have to have a headache. They don't know what causes it. They don't really have a cure for it. They don't really understand diddly squat about it, as best I can tell. But they have a fancy scientific word for it, so they can say, oh, yes, that's migraine aura. But basically, migraine aura is a fancy word for we don't know what the heck, but lots of other people have it. So that's, I think, the best way to think of it right now. Does everyone check to see if I have a frenulum connecting flap of skin? Yes, I definitely checked. I've got it. I do, like I said, I do remember a little line of skin there. I just don't remember it coming way forward and connecting way in the front of the lower jaw like that. Well, anyway, it's 1:48. My eyes are starting to get more and more sleepy. I've actually been feeling pretty good the last few weeks. I stopped eating wheat for the most part, and I feel a lot better. The problem is I've been going to bed earlier and waking up earlier. So the 2 o'clock in the morning thing is now harder for me because I usually go to bed 3 hours ago. So I think that's part of the reason why I'm getting my butt kicked the last few weeks. Okay, so anyways, I think I'm about done. Let me just see if I covered everything, but I think I have. Oh, you know what? No, I didn't cover everything. I did not cover one more. Ah, yes, I am. See if I can find a decent image that you could see. Tiny one. Another tiny one. There, that's better. Okay, this one's from Bob Bobertson again. He was just looking at Idaho. Idaho's looking really weird. Actually, this whole map is kind of crappy. But he doesn't remember it bordering Canada. I don't originally remember it bordering Canada. I'm going to look for a little better map, though. The line on this one's are really... You can really see it, but the map itself sucks. All right, let's try this one. All right, there's better. Okay, so yeah, this connecting strip in Idaho, I do remember seeing it last year, but it was a lot shorter. It looks like a big chunk of Idaho got chewed out by Montana here. I think Montana had more of a line that came across like this. You can see all the freaking Channel Islands off the coast of California. Those weren't there before. There's chew marks in here on California, chew marks over here. I've mentioned before California was way bigger for me. It's looking really skinny now, too. It looks like Nevada has stolen some area off of California here. The big bite out of the top of Washington has gotten bigger. Here, the Great Lakes are still sinking down. I remember this kind of going straight across. Another thing I've noticed is most maps are showing kind of a weird curve to the top here of the United States. This used to be just a straight across shot. So we're missing all of this now. This used to be like straight across here. So this is kind of sunk down. This is sunk inland. And one thing that Bob Bobertson was mentioning is he doesn't remember California tipping around this much. And I think he's right. He thinks like San Diego, LA down here are too far east compared to before. So I agree with that. I know there's weird stuff over here, but I didn't know this area as well. So I'm not going to comment on that. But the whole shape of the United States is different now. Florida's too tiny. It doesn't stick down. Look at this big line out the bottom of Florida, too. This chew marks here in Louisiana. I don't remember Louisiana looking like a boot. So, anyways, I don't know what all you guys notice. Michigan in 2 pieces. Yeah, that's an older ME for me, like 2 years old. But I do not remember. I know for a fact that Michigan was not 2 pieces originally. I'm not sure when that changed, though, because it was already changed when I learned about the Mandela. It didn't go to Canada. Yeah, Idaho. I think it did go there like a year ago, but originally no. But you know what? That whole section here is really different. Oregon and Washington were more over here. Montana was down there more. Everything is different. I don't even know what to say. Oh, the cat arm whiskers. Yeah, let me look that up right now. Cat. I've got like 7 more minutes. Now that the computer's working. See, when it works, it works just fine. Cat arm whiskers. You know, birds have whiskers now too, so. Oh yeah, see? Their little pooty paws got whiskers. Yeah, I agree. That's a Mandela. Whoops, he lost his whiskers. Whiskers were facial items. Wow, look at the whiskers on that dude. That's just kind of creepy. All right, anyways. But yeah, I agree. Cat arm whiskers. That's fishy. All right, I'm gonna show you the bird whiskers. I think I covered this one before, but it's an oldie but a goodie. So yeah, lots of birds have whiskers now. Whiskers help these birds sense their surroundings. Those guys have them. And there were some like tiny whiskers too that I saw on close-ups of some of the bird heads. Okay, you can see some small whiskers there. Did you know birds have whiskers? Okay, there's a perfect one. It was cats that had whiskers, not birds. Oklahoma Panhandle is tiny. Looks like Texas stole part of it. The Panhandle of Idaho. Yeah, really. Louisiana looking like a boot. That is just not right. And it so obviously is, too. Oklahoma. Oh, yeah, look at that. Very thin there. Yeah, I don't remember it looking like that. Texas is such a hog. California used to be bigger than Texas. Texas is a hot tamale in this timeline. It's big. I saw the long whisker-like hair on my cat's arm last year, but it was not called whiskers then. Face whiskers only to help them determine if an opening was wide enough to get through. Yeah, that was the old storyline. I bet that one's getting pushed out now. I feel weird when people tell me it was one piece. Yeah, we might be from different timelines. I don't know what to say. Whiskers on lions look weird. Well, the lions now have their mane going. The males have their manes going all in their stomach now, too. So I've covered that one in the past. Lion whiskers. Okay, let's talk about this bird business. Yeah, so yes, indeed, birds have whiskers. And I know this because one hit our window yesterday, and of course we rescued it. So, okay, so there's pictures of its little whiskers. All right, that's not much information on there. Lion whiskers. All right, puma. I do remember puma whiskers. That can't be real there. All right, what I see is I just don't remember the prominent dots like that. I mean, like you could have whiskers, but you don't have to have black rings of black dots everywhere the whisker comes out. Yeah, that looks kind of weird. There's like a patterning now. Like cats usually, they just have the whiskers show up, but you don't have lines of black dots everywhere there's a whisker. Yeah, that looks weird. I do not remember these black dots here. And there's a weird little chunk of color there. Yeah, that, I agree with you there. Crazy World of Norman Helen. I agree with you. There's something fishy about those whiskers. Yeah, look, it's very obvious now, too. And their mouth has gotten lighter, so you can really see those lines. Look at that. It looks like somebody took a pen and went boop, 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 boop. And yeah, that's interesting. Of course, there's so much variation in the color now, too. These black lines on these cheetahs are coming down around the face now, too. They didn't used to come all the way around to the mouth like that. It was just a down part way. That's another change. Oh, look at the lines on that tiger's face. Very interesting. The colorations have really changed. Okay, well, anyways, we got anything else here? After horses' mustaches, yeah, after that, you can't really be shocked by anything. And we had a bunch of people on there swearing that horses always had mustaches, too, on Redcon. What happened to lion's mane? Okay. Running a little over here. Okay, first of all, that mushroom, the lion's mane, that's an ME for me. It's a local one. I've never seen it. Every time I look at it now, it's more ridiculous. But it was not that big last time I looked at them. But all right, I'm getting all mushrooms. Let's try this. Let me see if I can get a good image that shows it. I need a side view. Okay, this one shows it a little bit. the mane is coming down on the elbows now, and it's starting to show up on the stomach. Some of them have it running all along. So they did not used to have mane on the elbows like that. In the dark areas is traveling down. It used to be up by the head more. And if I can find a nice side view. Lions did not used to travel in large packs of males like that. First they were solo, then there was two brothers. Now you have this giant coterie. Also, some of the cheetahs and stuff are now traveling in these packs. So that's another ME. Wow, I'm not seeing a real good image of one. I think this guy has it, but you can't really see. Some of the males, I mean, assuming it's still in this timeline. Oh, here, this one really shows it. Okay. Look at the height he's got. Is that even real? Look at the height. That can't be real. That looks like it's photoshopped. But anyways, okay, see this male here? His mane goes all the way down to his stomach and between his back legs. That is not how the mane used to be on the lion. It used to just be on the top here on the head. A lot of the males now do have this. This is actually the most extreme one I've seen so far as the mane taking over the stomach region. I think that male is photoshopped in, but they do have this extreme fringe on the stomach now, some of them. Look, there's just not many side views of them. It's just the males. See, now he doesn't have it as much, but look at how much is down. The dark fur is now down here instead of up on the top of the head. And this is lower than it used to be. Look at here. Look at the patterning now. The dark fur is on the elbows now. This is actually kind of a new change with the darker only being down here. I've not seen that. Here, this one shows it too. So he's got it to about here. Oh, actually, I think that's a tuft on his elbow again. Anyway, the images I saw before are not currently present. Let me see if I can find a side view. Male lion. Side view. Doink. Okay, so there shows one. See, all the way back. Looks like he's got some on his stomach, some on his elbow, but none right there. That's a new one. It's just weird how it's not going on the arm, but it's going back under there. Anyway, so yeah, I can go on all day about that. Yeah, they have less hair on the top of their head. Shari D, I agree with you. It used to be a big poof on the top of the head, but now it's like kind of petering out, and then they have more. I don't like the look, to be honest. He's got a bunch of dark hair poofy down on his elbows, but the head hair is less. It's not. And see, look at the dark. This is kind of a newer thing with all the dark hair being down here. It's not to my taste, but whatever. I mean, who knows where it's going, but so the males with the dark hair used to have it dark up there also. Big pot belly too. It seems like the bellies are more distended on a lot of these. They look fat. That's a little bit different look with this pot belly too. They look almost like hippos or something. Huh. Okay, anyway, I could go on all day about it, but it's about time. Yeah, they don't look very good. It looks kind of scungy. That one looks pretty good, but he's not as fat. Anyways, all right, I gotta call it. It's time for me to go. Yeah, they look moth-eaten. Maybe in future shifts they'll get some of their prowess back, but alrighty, guys, I think it's time for me to shove off. I'm gonna get the magic end button here. So anyway, thanks for coming. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline. Thank you all, and bye-bye.